too loud?
I'm loud.
How's that?
Whoa, I don't hear any background noise anymore. There was some static before or something.
Oh, boy.
Oh.
One of them, huh?
I think it's fine.
I didn't hear it. Maybe it was just while I was turning it. Do you mind if I drink this booch? Were you saving it for something?
Please.
We'll split it. You want some?
Oh, good. I got a cup. I'll empty it, and if I want some, I'll tap in.
Okay, cheers. We're back. Oh, your nails.
Go pursue it.
Very proper. Boy, it's been a while. But we're back.
It has been quite some time since we've sat around here.
Yeah, it's nice. It feels good.
Yeah.
Kind of missed it.
I know. How about that?
Just one of those, we just kind of fell off.
It was funny because it just was this unspoken thing that just we didn't really acknowledge. It wasn't a choice like, oh, let's take a break.
Yeah.
And here we are.
Here we are.
Our last new episode was in October, and it's April, and here we go.
Here we go.
Getting back on.
Getting back on the horse.
I'm
excited.
It's like learning. It's like a bike, you know? Once you podcast, you know how.
Yeah. It's as if we never left.
Something like that.
Yeah. It's like riding a bike. Lot going on. Beyonce's album sucks. Puff Daddy's going to jail.
Oh, gosh.
J. Cole got talking shit.
Oh, what's he doing?
J. Cole released like a diss track, sort of, or he just released a track saying how, like, between him, Drake, and Kendrick, those are like the three best rappers. Which, like, it's funny to like include himself. You know, like, have you seen that clip of like Ryan Gosling and Russell Crowe at the Oscars? And Ryan Gosling's like, look, we have 2 Oscars between us. Like, let's act like gentlemen. And Russell Crowe's like, how many Oscars? Like, I have the 2. Like, only one of them had the 2 Oscars. Anyway, J. Cole's like associating himself as if he has any. Is anyone thinking J. Cole's the best rapper alive?
I liked him when he came out, but I wasn't like he's the greatest thing to rap. I just
what?
Liked the beats, and it was good enough.
Yeah, to me, it's laughable that he's like thinks he's on Kendrick Lamar's level. He's not. He's just not.
It's funny that he's just like making himself relevant, you know, trying to be relevant.
Yeah, I hope they're really just friends and they like know what they're doing and that this is just like kind of a thing. I mean, and Drake's really good, but Drake also, like, the numbers just don't lie with Drake. Like, you know, it's like, okay.
Isn't he tied up to the Diddy things too?
I don't know.
I feel like I saw he was hanging out with them. We'll see. It's going to be interesting to see who gets brought down with him. There was a new figure I saw associated with him today was Ashton Kutcher.
Right.
Who's apparently been friends with him for 20 years. And they're like, you're about to get subpoenaed. So it'll be interesting to see if that happens.
But here's the thing. Just because you've been to a party at Puff Daddy's house, just because there's a clip of you saying like, wow, I had so much fun at a Puff Daddy party. I love Puff Daddy parties. That doesn't mean you were like raping boys at a party.
No,
you know?
But you are the company you keep. And when you write character letters for a guilty rapist, for example, and then you're seen at a party where they are drugging people without them knowing, and then having all sorts of weird sexual, or like, I don't even know if it's weird, but it's not consensual sex, so I'm gonna call it weird.
Sure.
Weird sexual escapades. Like, now that's just 2 things, you know? The pattern is emerging.
Sure.
I don't think it's just this random thing. It shows potential. A man who doesn't make good choices.
Yeah, you're talking about Ashton Kutcher.
I am.
Yeah. I mean, he also might.
So quick to defend him.
I'm not defending him. I don't.
Your eyes are telling me he's defending them.
Well, okay, here's the thing.
Him.
If a friend was suddenly accused of like horrible crimes, and someone said, what do you think about that? I would say, oh, dude, I've known that guy for fucking 20 years. Like, he's a great guy. I love that guy.
Or so he's ignoring 20 years of bad behavior from P. Diddy and this guy who's committing rapes. Like, do you not see the opposite side of what you're saying?
Of course I do. But like, if one of our best friends that we grew up with was suddenly someone was accusing them of a horrible crime, I would say, like, let me see the evidence. Like, I'm going to withhold the judgment.
Which doesn't happen. They wouldn't be able to see that because it's an ongoing case.
Fine. But I would say, like, this person is my friend. I know them. I don't think they would do that. Now, maybe I just don't actually know this person. Maybe they've been living some double life I don't know about. But I would say, like, I don't know. I'm waiting to see what happens in the trial. Like, if they're guilty of this, that's awful. But I can tell you, I've known this person for 20 years. This is my friend. I love this person. I would say that.
Okay.
Like, I wouldn't just be like, if someone was accused, I wouldn't say, oh, fuck him. Like, he's probably guilty. I would say, this is my friend for 20 years. Like, you know, I would say something.
Like, yeah, I guess.
I don't really hold that.
You'd write the letter. I would probably not.
I don't know. I don't know about writing the letter. I mean, I would be like, show me what's the evidence against this person.
Which you wouldn't. So that makes your argument, I feel like, more likely, right? Like, if you can't see the evidence, you're going to assume your friend is innocent and you're going to assume that they are the person that they've been presenting as for the last 20 years.
I think it's a pretty safe. Yeah, I probably would. I mean, I would say, I don't know. I'm waiting to, like, see how this plays out. But that's my friend.
Sure,
like,
I get it. It's good to have their back and not jump to conclusions. But at the same time, it's also problematic to ignore dangerous behavior. That is also, like, what leads to a rape culture and nothing that we want to see, right? Like, you can't just be the best friend of the rapist and be like, oh, I know he gets a little wild and I've never seen that. I heard a few things along the way. Like, you don't be friends with somebody for 20 years who behaves that way and not be aware of it. I don't think that that's how it goes.
Yeah. Probably you're right, but there are psychos out there living a double life.
Sure,
literally, when you find out, oh my gosh, they have 30 bodies buried in their basement, and you go, oh fuck, okay.
And there are some people who get away with this stuff in plain sight, like P. Diddy, who just
or like Harvey Weinstein, like everyone kind of knew.
Everybody knows. I saw a clip the other day from Courtney Love, and it was a soundbite, and they're like, "Well, it's one thing you would want young girls in Hollywood to know." She's like, "Oh, I'm gonna get in trouble for saying this, but if you ever get invited to an after party at Harvey Weinstein's place, don't go." And I was just like, wow. There's a lot of things that we miss along the way and we find out in hindsight. And, like, I'm not saying Ashton Kutcher's a bad person because he wrote this character letter, but
he's at least a poor judge of character.
Perhaps a poor judge of character at the very least, and maybe complicit and more than that.
Yeah. I mean, also, you know, if before all this was going on, if you and I were in New York and we got invited to Puff Daddy's house for a party, we'd probably go. We'd be like, fuck yeah, that's like, you don't say no to that. Like, this is a once in a lifetime, let's go to a party at Puff Daddy's house. You wouldn't go?
I don't know. I've got cooler friends in New York City.
Okay, would you go to a party at Beyonce's
Brooklyn,
house?
Really?
Tonight we're going to Beyonce's house to party.
Beyonce's house.
Okay. So maybe it comes out that Beyonce is actually just as bad as Puff Daddy. Maybe, and it's like, are we now guilty? No, we said yes. So, like, a huge list of people is going to come out that says these people were at Puff Daddy's parties. And, like, it's not fair to just say, oh, all those people are fucking rapists now.
Sure, I understand.
Like, I'm sure some people went to Puff Daddy parties, like, ate the hors d'oeuvres, had some drinks, danced, and went home.
Yeah,
and
I'm
didn't
sure
do anything wrong, didn't see anything wrong. Probably.
I'm sure that's true. And I'm sure also lots of people noticed sketchy things happening at those parties, and whether they participated or not, they didn't report it or didn't want to rock the boat when they got this insider invite, you know?
Yeah, Puff Daddy's really not looking good.
No, not looking good at all.
So it's so gnarly. I was saying this to you the other day, but, like, there's this weird, like, homophobia with it as well. Like, drugging people, raping people, even like his predatory business practices, I think are awful. Like he's like, it's like everything wrong with the record industry, like taking artists, giving them as little as possible. Like you're getting rich off of other people's art, and like he's the worst. But there's also this like, oh, like he's gay. Like, oh, look at him there. Like, it's like he's gay. He's gay. Like it's a total separate issue. But there's a lot of this like, I don't know, like look the way he's looking at this guy, like pretty gay. It's like he's gay. It's
but that I feel like that goes to show what happens when you try to like pent up your truest desires. You are not a good version of yourself. You do shady things. You lie and manipulate and hurt people because you're unable to
perhaps
accept who you are and be who you are. So you just are a danger to yourself and others instead.
Well, also like if you're forced to have sex in a unknown dark room, hidden from everybody, like you're also having sex hidden from everybody. So like maybe you're trying to get away with other like stuff, you know, like you kind of mix the like, what am I trying to say? You know, if Puff Daddy was like, if I'm going to have sex with a guy, I have to have it in secret. And it's like, oh, well, okay, I'm having sex in secret. Like, so I'm also a piece of shit. So I can get away with my piece of shit stuff while I'm getting away with this thing that I shouldn't have to get away with. Maybe it feeds it.
Who knows? I mean, there's power dynamics at play. It's a really aggressive move to have people that are showing up wanting something from you, whether that's an opportunity to talk about your music or an opportunity to see and be like whatever it is. The power dynamics were always in his favor. So there's like definitely that element there too, you know? And then, yeah, all the shame that comes from potentially denying that. And then the sneakiness that just makes you feel like you're doing something wrong. It's a lot of ugly things, I think, that led to the way he's been behaving. Who knows what's going on. It's funny too. I saw something that, and obviously this is just like the nature of it, right? If something's going down, if there's a train wreck happening, people are going to watch, they're going to pay attention. But I saw a video and there's been a lot of videos mocking Jennifer Lopez lately after her movies came out. And they're like, wow, she really paid $20 million of her own money to like ruin her career. And just ragging on her. But it's like the one thing she could do to be relevant is like talking about her dating experience to P. Diddy, but she hasn't done that yet either. Just kind of funny. She seems so desperate to be in the spotlight, but here she has this like very real in and she's not taking it. But I'm curious as to what she knows of him, right? She dated him for a while.
Yeah, I think years. No? I mean, everybody's got, Justin Bieber's probably got stories. It seems like everyone's going to like, I think everyone's kind of waiting to see how this plays out. But I'm sure everyone's kind of having conversations with lawyers right now about like what they should say, when they should say it. And I'm sure the advice is to say nothing. But I think the internet's being too hard on Jennifer Lopez.
Do you?
I absolutely do. Like, all she did,
No, not all she did. This is
here's like what she did. She released an album like as a video, like Beyonce did with Lemonade. That's her movie. We started watching it thinking like, oh, this will be some like piece of shit biopic she did about herself. It's not. It's just it's a music video. It's not a movie.
It's supposed to be her love story. No, it is a movie.
It's an hour long. That's not a movie.
It's her movie, I think. We didn't finish it. We got to back it up. And we got to watch the documentary, which is kudos to her because I'm talking shit, but I still need to tune in.
Right, but she made an hour-long music video. Those songs, that's her album.
Okay.
So it's her new album. She released it.
I forgot you said that.
As a hour-long music video that has these kind of like story kind of threading through it to tie it all together. It's a concept album. I don't think it's great, but I'm not mad at her for it. She made a thing. She paid for it with her own money. I'm sure she got her money back by selling it to Amazon. Great. And she made a documentary about this whole process. what's the crime here? Like, why is everyone
The
so
crime is it's just
jumping on her?
extremely self-indulgent, which she has a track record of being. She's just kind of proving herself to be over years of in the industry that she's kind of thinks of herself as the best of the best and uses some tropes like I'm Jenny from the block, I'm from the Bronx, and like, you know, just constantly tries to make herself seem like this everyday girl next door character that she's, you know, pretty far removed from at this point.
Sure. From what I hear, she was always
It's just like, yeah, it's
removed
just
from
people
that. It was
are
like an
kind of
image.
sick of her vibe, sick of what she's selling. And that proves it. Like everybody, I mean, it probably did well, but I
don't think it's done well at all.
I mean, I would guess that all of the views, literally all of them have come from like a place of mockery.
Yeah, they're like ironic
too, like
views.
ours, like who's actually watching it? The only people I know who've watched it have been people who are like ready to drag it, you know, through the dirt, through the mud.
I mean, she's an A-list celebrity. Would you agree? J-Lo?
Yeah, I'd give it to her.
A-list.
Yeah.
And I mean, how do you make music videos that aren't self-indulgent? A music video is self-indulgent.
Yeah, it can be.
I mean, was Beyonce's Lemonade self-indulgent?
I don't know. I think it's just that it doesn't feel authentic in a lot of ways. So I think that's the other problem I'm having with it.
Just
you know,
trying
it
too
just
hard.
feels very, very forced in just about every way. So, no, I felt like there was actually real emotion in Beyonce's Lemonade. I felt like she was actually doing what she said and like revealing things about herself, which is what artistry is all about. I think J-Lo's album doesn't read like that. It's just sort of like I don't know. It's bizarre.
Bullshit.
It's
Yeah.
really bizarre.
Okay. I agree with you. The lack of artistry is
I
probably
got him.
the big thing here. That J-Lo, she ain't for real. You know, like she's just kind of a bullshit, empty pop star image, but she's not a true artist. She doesn't write her own music. She doesn't have, it's kind of like a money play for her. Perhaps, it seems. And society is starting to see through that more and more and
think
not
so.
accepting it. But there's also,
It's like we want the stories of like Billy and Phineas, you know? We want to know where you were when you wrote that song, and we want to know that you're like mixing it in your bedroom and wherever LA, and we
Right.
want to like see what's real for you. And it's annoying when artists only let you see like such a carefully crafted persona instead of like, you know, the behind the scenes footage. I feel like is what people want. And
Well,
I
okay.
get it. There's still a place for like the well polished, manicured image that you're constructing, but you know, you got to give and take. A little bit of both goes a long way.
well, I feel the same way you just said about Beyonce's
I know.
new album.
I knew this is where this was going.
But I had a point about J-Lo first. Oh, what? Okay, but the internet, we're like bullies in
Oh,
high
yeah.
school. And as soon as there's a week, J-Lo's weak.
That's true.
We'll all get her. And it
It's true.
feels so good.
It's
And it's
ugly.
so fun. And yeah, get her, bring her down. And like, it's this like, I don't know if it's healthy
Oh, I'm not
activity
going to argue that.
for society. We're like a bunch of fucking little children when it's like, oh, yeah,
It's
like
true.
get her, and like we just want to bring down J-Lo. Like there's like a cruelty to it. We want to hurt J-Lo. Like
We're living in a very like call out culture. You know, we want
Yeah.
to call people out when we see something. It's the hunches. We just everybody wants to be like, I had a hunch that J-Lo was very insincere, and I knew it when I did her makeup 10 years ago. And she, you know, I saw a picture of her spitting her gum into her personal assistant's hand the other day. Like, there's just certain things you don't do. Even when you're an A-list celebrity, you don't treat people like that.
well, okay.
And so-
Where did she spit her gum?
On a set, she was like
That I bet that is so common. I bet every
No.
actor at some point
If you're
has had
an
to spit their
actor-
gum out, spit your gum out
No.
into my hand.
You say, can you maybe go grab me a tissue? Would be a civilized way to ask your assistant or your staff or your team to help you get the gum out of your mouth. You don't just like spit into somebody's hands. It's ridiculous.
That doesn't seem that crazy to me.
I think that's a little bit unnecessary. Like you
But
can,
you're taking this,
God
like-
forbid you get up and stand and find what we call a trash bin. What
Time
do we
is
call
money.
it?
We're on an expensive set.
Garbage can?
You want J-Lo to take
I
like
want her to
45
fucking throw her
seconds to
own
walk
garbage
somewhere
out
and
for
spit?
once in her life and
She's
see how it
standing there.
feels.
The light is right. She's chewing her gum. Okay, get her hair. Good. Okay, spit the gum out, please. And action. That feels totally fine to me.
Deeply offensive to me.
But like, why isn't this happening to Katy Perry? That's what I want to know.
Well, you and I.
Then I'd be jumping in. I'd be like, get her, everybody.
Well, it
get
sounds
her.
like we have more homework to do.
Yeah,
If we
when are
start,
they
if we
gonna bring
open
down
the
Katy Perry?
floodgates. She's still on top right now for some
Because then I can
godforsaken
say-
unknown reason.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't stand her.
She's probably paying for all this shit. She's trying to keep everybody
Probably
on J-Lo
so.
so that they don't realize that she's an evil bitch.
I
deep
did
down.
hear she like suppressed somebody's career because they were competitive, like at that time. Which I wonder how true it is.
Katy Perry?
Yeah,
KP?
that was the conspiracy theory I heard.
Whose career?
It was like a one-hit wonder who partnered up with some guy for a song, but her pipes are pretty unreal, and she just like sounds so good without any editing, any mixing. I forget what it was.
I don't know.
What the song was.
People are also getting on J-Lo for like, oh yeah, like someone turned in a demo and they kept the singer's voice from the demo.
Yeah, I heard that.
But like J-Lo's
Never
voice is
given
on
it
it
credit.
too.
Yeah, she just sang all the verses and left the.
So the singer performed the demo, got paid to do that, but just didn't get paid as a singer. So they
Probably didn't get songwriting credits or anything.
Well, they would have
or
got the
song.
credit whether they left their. I mean, the thing is like, maybe you wrote this song, you sang the demo, you turned it into J-Lo. You're thinking she's going to remove your vocals, record her own. You're a songwriter, and J-Lo's the performer. But if she kept your track in there, is it just that you should have got paid for that also? Because she did not pay you. She did not pay for your voice to like then sell albums with your voice on it. So they're owed more money.
I think some of the, from my interpretation, would be that like she is just letting the other vocalist carry her, and because it sounds good and sounds better than what she would lay down on a track of her own.
Okay.
You know,
I would do that.
you're very,
I did that
you're
with
very
TK.
civilized.
I was like, yeah, like if someone sent a demo, I would probably. I mean, we always do this. We're like, it's great like that. Leave that. Like, let's just build on top of it. But this is so great. You know, like, is it just that J-Lo
No,
did?
you're right. I mean, there's more. What?
I mean, if
there's
she was supposed to pay them for using their voice and she didn't, that's
sure,
wrong.
obviously wrong.
But like, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
mean,
sure.
I guess it's just like, I don't know the specifics. Did she? I guess it's just about giving credit where credit's due, and maybe she didn't do that. Maybe she didn't pay properly. Maybe she did, and it's just internet speculation being crazy.
Could be. All right, so let's talk about Beyonce.
Yeah, you were so not impressed by that album, and the more I keep seeing about it, the more impressed I am.
What's impressing you?
I just think that there's a lot of, how would I describe it? I feel like she's just clapping back at an industry who's historically not wanted her involved, and I appreciate the ways that she's not letting the country music radio stations or anyone tell her that she can't, bend genres, combine genres, be her own thing, and, crush it. She is. So I just I love it. I'm eating it up.
So, I'm going to sound like a jerk, but I feel like that's like brilliant PR from Beyonce that the like second highest selling artist right now can have people saying, "Oh wow, it's like they're trying to bring her down." Like when you release an album, you want like story. That's like important, you know? And so the fact that Beyonce has been able to make it that she's like the little guy being pushed down by country music that's making everybody want to listen to this piece of shit album is brilliant. Mm-hmm. So I think that's true. That's manufactured. It's probably partially true. Like they didn't want Lil Nas X. It is historically like a sort of racist, like at least it's like a white man. I mean, you have Charlie Pride, you have black singers, you know, in country. Was it Hootie, you know? Darius Rucker. He's
I think
killing
it's
it
like
in country
also
music.
just the irony too of like, you know, country music is based off of music that comes from like black people and Native American people in general. It's like kind of how the industry was born, and then it got really whitewashed, which is kind of the truth for a lot of
Native
music.
American? I don't think.
I think so.
Is country music?
Like some of the folk Americana roots, yeah, I think so.
I always thought it was more like gospel, blues.
Blues.
Yeah, I mean, all good music is black people made.
Right.
Like the entire world, pop music,
right.
Like everything good we think of music was started with black people. Like it's this insane gift they've given the world. And I'm not thinking, I don't know. It's weird talking about race so much, like, oh, them, they're these people and they did this and we're separate from them. But like culturally there's difference, historically there's a difference. And anyway, black people like made all the fucking music.
Crushed it.
So yeah, it's always silly to try and exclude black people. It's like trying to exclude black people from the NBA, you know?
Right.
It's like you're just worried they're going to do so much better than you.
She's refusing to be excluded. It's amazing.
Okay, good for her.
Yeah.
I support that.
People are saying like boycott Beyonce. Like there's literally people who are coming for her because of this. I would
not be surprised if someone on Beyonce's team is at the very least encouraging boycott Beyonce from the other side.
Perhaps so.
Because if you're hearing people are trying to boycott Beyonce, you're like, I'm going to root for her even more. You know, maybe nobody in country music even really dislikes Beyonce. Maybe they're like, yeah, I mean, it's whatever, it's fine. Good for her. Make country music. I bet that's how most people feel in country music.
She's just rad. I heard today, I didn't verify, but she apparently only gave, even though she made some pretty liberal changes to Jolene, she gave the writing credits to Dolly Parton exclusively. So Dolly Parton will make all the revenue from streaming of that song.
I think she would have to. I don't know if she had the option to take the songwriting credits.
Why not?
Because
artists sample other artists all the time. She changed it a lot. It's not like exactly the same song.
Well, it's not a sample. Or did she sample it or she covered it?
I mean, I think she covered it. Yeah, she covers it. But I don't know if there's original samples. She did use the original samples from Blackbird, which I also think was another interesting choice. Like, It
sounds like the original sample, at least.
It is. I saw at least somewhere that it was. But
for some shitty cover of Blackbird, I thought it was
maybe,
terrible.
But she also made like an entire generation of people realize that was about a racial issue and not just some fucking bird in a nice song. Like now all these people that didn't know that, myself included, are like, oh, that's interesting. I had no idea. And like revisiting their understanding to that.
That's good. But to me, that doesn't make it a good song or a good album. It is having a positive effect on the world, and I like that.
I wonder.
But it's not, to me, that doesn't make a good song.
The last time Kanye West's album came out, you said, okay, I like it. I think I like it more than the last one, whatever. You're like, or I don't know, maybe it was the one you didn't like that much. You're like, I just need to re-listen. I need to listen a few more times and see how I feel about it.
Yeah.
I wonder if you did that with those Beyonce songs, if you would appreciate them more. Because I've certainly listened to some of them on a couple occasions.
Yeah.
And you just hear different parts. You take away different things. You feel the music more. Like,
Yeah, maybe.
Wonder.
I wonder as well.
Because I feel like you came in hot. You came in swinging. Wanting to
well,
smash.
I wanted to then listen to her,
and pulverize.
her last album where she was also on a horse. Which one was that? Resonance?
Yeah, that was pretty funny. We were driving in the car and we just listened to the new album, you know, start to finish. And Paul was complaining every 4 seconds about how it was trash. And then as soon as the album ends, he immediately wanted to listen to the last one. To which I said, no fucking way.
Because you're sick of hearing me talk shit about Beyonce.
I'm not going to listen to you talk shit.
But I was assuming, I was like, I didn't like the last one either, but maybe I will, if I hear it again, maybe I will like it. So let's try it again. And what did
you decide?
I didn't hear it again.
He decided he doesn't care for Beyonce's voice, which is fine.
Well, maybe that's it. Maybe I'm saying maybe that's it. Because, yeah, like when Miley Cyrus was on the album, I kind of liked it. When Post Malone was singing, I kind of liked it.
I didn't like that song very much.
And then, yeah, I think partially I just don't like Beyonce's voice. I also have the contrarian in me where, like, I think she's overrated.
No.
And she's so praised as if she's the greatest. And to me, she ain't.
It's just so funny. It's like this psychology of once somebody gets up to that high, you can't help but like want to throw rocks and just like bring them down.
No.
I feel like that's what's happening with, like you said, that's what's happening with J-Lo. Like the internet leads to behavior like that in general. Like, but you want to see the crack.
If you heard those songs and I'd say, this is just someone. So you're not picturing Beyonce. You're not picturing that people are against her. You're
I would probably like it even more. Because with her, the bar is so high that I'm like, yeah, it's good. It's good. It's what I expect of her. If that was some random person that I felt like I just discovered on TikTok for the first time and she was singing like, I'd be like, oh my God, showing everybody, trying to take credit for it.
Okay.
Being like, hey, I got a hunch this girl's going to the top of the charts.
Okay.
Everybody wants credit for the hunch.
Well, yeah, maybe I will listen to them and feel differently. Maybe, and all the good things that are coming out of it, I like all of that, but that doesn't make them good songs, and I feel like they're not good songs to me. Except for the one, Yaya was kind of cool.
Mm-hmm. I liked that one.
It was like soul funk. She should make a soul funk album. I think it might suit her voice better, or I don't know.
I saw today there was a new genre that, at least new to me, it was like disco rap. They're like, disco rap's where it's at right now. Mm-hmm. And then it was a little video of a disco rap, which I was like, oh, yeah, that's exactly what I expected this to sound like. Cool. But it was fun. It's upbeat. You just want to like instantly be on roller skates. It's nice.
Yeah, it's cool. And I guess I like that, which I really give this credit to Lil Nas X, but country music is like more and more people are listening to country music now. It's become... It used to be like I listen to anything but country. There's like people put country way over here in some really unfair bullshit way. I think that's partially why country music doesn't like Beyonce showing up. I don't think it's just racism. If Justin Bieber made a country album, I bet they'd be just as upset. Because everyone's been, I like all music except country.
It did have
country
a way
sucks.
of
So
being
that's
out
why
there.
they have to make the Country Music Awards. Because they weren't getting fucking Grammys. Like, they weren't being respected at all. And then someone's all big and all fucking, like, got all this money, all the fame, and decides, I'm going to make a country album now. And so country fans, I think, go like, well, fuck you. Like, you guys been talking shit about us for fucking 50 years. Now you want to jump on our bandwagon because it's, like, trendy and you're going to make money? I bet people would be just as upset as Justin Bieber for making a country album. I be like Miley Cyrus could get away with it.
Well, he's Canadian, so he better not.
It's just he's a pop star, you know. So but I do like that. Like I haven't heard that in a long time. I love any music but country.
I know that really was. I feel like pervasive when we grew up. Like everybody said that. I feel like I said it a time or two.
Same.
And then I realized, oh shit, I do like some country. There's
I like some country too.
There's some good country out there for sure.
Like it's so dumb to hate a whole genre.
Definitely. There's
or
always
to love a
something
whole
good.
genre. I say this a lot, but like there's really good hip hop, but there's also really shitty hip hop.
Sure.
Like there's good jazz, there's bad jazz, there's really good country, and there's really bad country. Like I just like music that I like. It doesn't matter the genre. But yeah, people get weird with, I don't know, country music was really, and rap for a
you
long
get
time.
weird with what people say is the best.
You know, I mean, okay, if everyone says this is the best movie of all time, you got to go see it. I'm watching it a little bit like this,
Yes, you are.
which I think is natural. But I think I'm able to still view it as, like, still judge it honestly.
I'm going to leave that there.
I mean,
Let
Kanye
you
West is
simmer on that.
super highly praised. He's like the best producer of all time, you know? And I listen to his music and I don't know. I like it. But I probably give him a little slack, I will say. Because, like, it's Kanye West. I'm excited to hear what he's doing. And, like, even if something I don't like, I'm always like, oh, okay, at least he's like, I'm glad he went there. I'm glad he's like trying to push an envelope somewhere. Which I also didn't like about the Beyonce album. It just felt really safe. Kind of, no, I don't know. Which maybe that's just like pop country music, which I don't really like. Like the poppy country is the country I don't often like.
I felt like there was a lot of like anthems on it that just are undeniable to move and feel and dance to. But
Okay.
that's for better or worse. I mean, maybe you don't like that.
Maybe.
Maybe you don't want to see billions of people doing a dance. Not billions, but you know what I mean. Just like the internet just latching onto a song. But
Perhaps. I mean, I don't like
it obviously
being in a
works
trend.
for a lot of people.
I don't like being in a trend. If someone's like, oh, you should buy these shoes because everyone's buying these shoes, to me, it's like, that's the last shoe I want. If everyone wants these shoes, like, I want any shoe but that shoe, you know? Like, I do go against trends.
No.
And you're right, I'm wrong. And
You're
I'll give you the
talking to
last
me
word.
like I don't know the man I married.
I'm just being honest. I'm just trying to be honest to the people, you know?
Sure.
It's been so long. We can't just
know.
start.
I don't even know
on
what tense
lies.
to talk into. I'm like, who do I talk to? I don't even know. What do I do?
Yeah.
Do I talk to you or you? What else?
What else is going on?
Besides all this crazy, social media celebrity world.
I'm releasing an album soon.
Yeah, we want your honest opinions when it comes out, everybody.
I do.
Of course.
I always want people to tell me if
that
my
is
music
true.
sucks.
Your music doesn't suck. Your music's awesome.
It wouldn't change how I feel about
record's
the
awesome.
music. I would never want anyone to feel like they need to be honest with me. I'm not making it for everybody. I'm just making it, and I hope some people like it. Anyway.
I do like
Thank
it.
you.
I love it even. I would say it's great.
Thanks. Yeah, so it's an album called, I'm not going to say the name yet, but it'll be out
May.
next month. The first single will drop.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
It really is very catchy.
Thank you.
The beats slap.
They slap. Slappers?
Slappers.
I
I'd
mixed
say.
it myself. It was mastered by our buddy Nico in Argentina. So shout out to Maia Kalwill.
Well, let's go back to mixing it yourself. Don't gloss over it.
Okay.
Let's give you some more credit.
All right.
Because this is the first project you mixed on your own.
Well,
Fully.
yeah, the That Kid Is You. There is some That Kid Is You songs on Spotify that I mixed myself, but they were like
this was
not
different.
good. Yeah, this was different because I could have hired Nico to mix it, and I thought I wanted to mix it myself because I want to be able to do that in the future. Also, like, I'm producing it myself, so I'm sort of creating a sound, and I have more control of that sound if I'm also being the one mixing it. Like I can kind of mixing and producing like really work hand in hand. So yeah. Anyway, learned a lot, watched a lot of YouTube videos, paid for some stuff, some new plugins and shit, and a better microphone, and I really did try on this one, and it'll only get better. But yeah,
Yeah, you've been working hard. It's been cool to see you get the album finished up and working on the album art and everything else that goes into supporting that release. And
a lot of work.
Yeah, I'm happy for you. It's exciting.
Thank you. And also, Maia Kalwill has an album out. This you have to see. We should have started the show with this, but
it really is incredible.
So like Maia,
it's called Stop the Clock. And yeah, it's amazing. Maia's Maia Kalwill, Kalwill. You got to go look her up. She's on everywhere you're listening to music, and it's incredible.
Yeah. And she's the girl on all of That Kid Is You songs from the Argentina record. And when we did that, she was 14 years old. And those songs are the first like recordings she ever did, like in a studio.
She's like so angelic, but also edgy at the same time.
Yeah.
Her voice is so smooth. And yeah, it's just really, her songwriting skills are just really budding. I mean, she's just so good.
Yeah, it's a creative,
really
envelope-pushing album. It's everything that Beyonce's not, you know?
Really is great.
Yeah. And I mean, she's only 19 years old, for Christ's sake.
This has been a fun one to show off, too, because we keep playing it for friends. Wherever we went out of town last weekend and played it in multiple new houses for new friends. And it was just, every single one was like, oh, I'm going to save this. So I'm going to re-listen to this. Can't wait to share this. It's
phenomenal.
Undeniably amazing. Mm-hmm. Or should I say it's rubbish. People like it.
They're against her. The people in Argentina, they're against Maia. They want to stop her. They want to suppress her. They want to hold her back. They're pushing her down.
She needs your streams.
Yeah, you know.
What about all this fake streaming bullshit? I keep seeing little videos popping up of like the basically fraudulent streams that are happening.
Yeah, I saw you watching that on TikTok.
Yeah, they have like phone farms and they just sit there and like stream songs all day or whatever and boost the numbers. And I didn't realize that actually wannabe artists are using that as an actual tactic to get up on the charts.
Well, there's definitely people who you can pay to like get you streams or views on a YouTube video or whatever. And yeah, I would assume it's some kind of a farm like that where they're just streaming it. But the problem with it on Spotify is that the way that works, Spotify has, let's say, 1 million people paying $7 a month. So each month, that's $7 million. And then that's the money that gets split up to all the artists. So we're splitting that pot. It's not like you don't get like a certain amount of money per stream. If you're 10% of all the streams on Spotify, you're going to get 10% of that $7 million for that month. So if someone's making fake streams, they're like cutting into
the pie.
And the pie is not, you know, like there's only so much in the pie. So yeah, I think it was something like 10% of streams on Spotify are fake.
That's so sad.
Yeah. I don't like it. Doesn't bother me that much, to be honest. I would hope it's helping some artists, like, because I've heard of some people paying for fake views and fake streams, then going to a record label saying, I'm blowing up, sign me, getting signed off of that, and then actually blowing up and actually becoming like popular. You know, so like they lied to get in the door, but what their product was actually decent music, so they like still succeeded. So I don't know. I don't really blame people for trying or for doing that, but it's a little sad or a little uncool, I guess. I mean, if you were screwing over Spotify, I wouldn't care at all. But the fact that like you are taking from
other artists,
it's a little less cool.
Yeah, I mean, I think the reason streaming platforms like Spotify exist in the first place is to, you know, make sharing music more accessible for more people, right? And that's kind of like, I don't know, it feels like maybe one step backwards in terms of going back to like what record labels used to do and just making it so competitive and just like so few get to the top. Like I don't know. I hope we can keep this environment where it's there's like spaces for music to get launched and like it actually reflects how people are listening to it and sharing it, and like organically, you know, like how many times was that one song sent? I'd be more interested in that. How many unique shares did it get versus like streams, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, the funny thing too is Spotify is not paying you shit already. So it's kind of like where they like put like pollution
doesn't even matter
on
anyways.
the consumer. They're like, you guys need to recycle. You need to take bags to the grocery store. It's like, they're like, oh, look at these jerks. They're stealing money from artists. It's like, you fuckers aren't paying anybody shit. Like,
Okay.
you know?
So really, they're just kind of taking advantage of the game. They're playing the game. Don't hate the player, hate the game.
They're playing the game. They're playing the game. They're finding a way to try to win. You know, whatever. To me, it's not that bad.
Well, there you have it.
You know, it's not honest, but well, yeah, whatever. I mean, yeah. So 10% is fake streams. That means everyone's getting 10% less money than they would be. So instead of getting $17, they're getting $15.30 from Spotify. You know, like you're still not getting much. So the real problem is like, how do artists make money?
Get
Because it
paid.
ain't Spotify streams. It already is.
Turns out it's not record labels or Spotify streams.
Well, yeah. I mean, you can make money from record labels, but you owe them a lot of money too. Been learning
Right?
a lot
It's
about
like
that.
all that predatory behavior, isn't it?
Yeah, kind of. I mean,
And then they're putting up money for you to basically finish an album or finish a music video, so you owe it back, or what? It's like
Yeah.
working with a publisher.
no, like, so they'll give you like, let's say they give you $1 million to make your album. I'm just using easy numbers. You spend it all. You make this great album. You release it. First of all, they're only give you like a 10% royalty. So for all the money coming in from that album, you get 10%. And that 10% has to fill that $1 million bucket
First.
before you see a penny. So meanwhile, the record label's getting this 90%. Sure, if you totally blow it, they eat the $1 million. So that's why there's this imbalance. They took the risk. They gave you the $1 million. But to me, it's just dumb. I mean, and people can make records for so much cheaper now too. So I've actually been talking with Brendan about this, but we want to make a record label that's like just actually nice and like from an
What
artist
if it's
perspective,
Nice Guy Records?
not bad. Nice guy. We've been
Swell
looking at
guy.
different names.
Nice guy.
Nice
Swell
guy
guy.
records. Nice guy's not so bad,
Nice Guy Records.
but like.
Although if somebody usually has to tell you they're nice, it's like
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I'd
Are
rather have
you?
it just be a cool name. But we want it to be like from the perspective of an artist, what's the ideal record label? You know, like you do want a little bit of support. You want marketing, but you don't want someone telling you like, you owe me you have to make a new album this year. You have to tour. Like, it's just ridiculous. Plus, so like, let's say you make that $1 million album. It only makes $700,000 from your royalty. So you still are down $300,000. Then you make your next record they give you money for. Like that next record's still going to be paying back the first one. So that's got to fill up. Then that's got to fill up. Then you got to get it. All of this on like a royalty rate, like maybe as low as 10% of the songs. Plus your manager's getting a
Doesn't
piece
sound
of
like a
it.
good
Plus the
deal.
producer of the record's getting a piece of it. It's a shit show. So yeah, I think, and like this is like the Puff Daddy shit, you know? Puff Daddy didn't invent this, but Puff Daddy, when he saw it, instead of being like, oh wow, that's wrong. I wish, like, I want to make my own label that are like, you know, support Nice Guy Records. He was like, oh, whoa, I want to do that like as much as I can and exploit people and take all their money. So, I don't know how we got on this.
because you want to start a record label.
Because I want to start a record label. But we were talking, the Spotify streams and stuff. Yeah. So anyway, but the streaming, like 1 million streams is like $4,000. So,
It's a tough world. Tough to be an artist.
a little bit. You got to be creative, you know? You got to figure it out. Streams is like,
I mean, there's
Yeah,
a ton
you just
of
gotta figure it out. The world is what it is.
creative artists that aren't getting paid.
yes. But there's also more, I think there's less people like buying a private jet off of music, but there's probably more people paying their rent off of music. You know, so like
Can certainly live with that.
yeah, I think in general it's better right now. The internet is amazing, but there's still this, you know, there's shit that's just gonna evolve over time, and I think record labels will be a thing of the past eventually, or they'll drastically change. Yeah, I hope.
I hope too.
We're going to change it with Nice Guy Records.
Yeah, follow along at
Swell
Nice Guy
Fella
Records.
at Swell Fella Records. Yeah, cool. What else is going on in the world? We're watching the NCAA.
Yes, that was cool.
Our brackets were you had Purdue. Oh, and they're going to the
They
final.
are. I got one of my two
Wow.
teams in there.
That is pretty impressive.
I'll take it as a W.
My bracket's been shot since day one. It feels like all my like the teams I had in like the semifinals, like they lost round one. So it's just like whoa, crossing it out all the way.
A lot of red on your bracket.
A lot of
really
red.
early on there.
But yeah, that's been fun. I don't know what else. I'm glad we're back to doing podcasts.
Yeah.
Let's keep this up. We're gonna get guests back. We're gonna
Also, if you're listening and we haven't invited you onto the podcast and you'd like to be on the podcast, send us a little DM. You know, it's always hard. I think part of what slowed us down for a while is like it is hard to, you know, find guests, coordinate all that. So we're always looking for friends and even strangers to talk to. I'm not opposed to a stranger.
as long as you're not murderers.